In today's KaristaLive, we have realtors who will provide us with information on the most recent industry trends so you can make smart decisions before purchasing your home. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us here on KaristaLive. And right now, who's with me today are, of course, Rachelle Castillo, your favorite mortgage strategy manager, and Carol Co. Hi, Carol. What's happening?
Hey, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can see Carol right now. As we're fixing that, hi, Rachelle. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. I hope everyone's doing well on this wonderful Friday afternoon. Thank you for joining.
Yes, 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 yes. So, hi, Carol. How are you?
Hi, I'm awesome. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome sa aming Karista Live TV.
Ayan. So today we have, of course, aside from your Karista team, we have two wonderful guests who's going to be talking about really the real estate journey of first-time home buyers. If you're a first-time home buyer, if you're a renter, or if you know someone who you think should know about this, and you think that you're going to learn and share the knowledge, then please watch the show today. So our two wonderful guests has spent hundreds of hours preparing, being ready for today, because like us, there's three things that are important for us today. First, to learn from one another, to learn from our guest. Second, to connect with one another and to all of you out there. And most importantly, to make a positive, lasting difference. So I have three goals. We have three goals for today, and we're going to achieve all of them. Without further ado, we would like to introduce our first guest. So please, let's watch this. Is a full-time licensed real estate agent. She's been helping families buy and sell homes, ensuring her clients' needs are met from start to finish. Grace specializes in the Chilliwack area and has a wide range of experience in the industry, allowing her to offer a comprehensive approach to your real estate needs. Grace will surely guide you with care and integrity every step of the way. Let's welcome Grace Fernandez Conolly. Hello, Grace.
Hi, nice to meet you, Bernadette.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. We are excited to hear about your journey. So, first of all, I think you prepared a presentation to teach first-time home buyers what to expect, the things that you learned, and the things that you think they should be watching out for and keep track of. And I think towards the end, you're going to share about your personal story. So, without further ado, let's hear from your presentation.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's such a wonderful opportunity. Okay. My topic for today is about first-time home buyers that needs to know. It's very basic, but I hope I could impart some knowledge for whoever wanting to buy their first home. Next slide, please. Okay. Real estate wealth in Canada. Okay. I always had been a believer for, to be financially independent, you have to invest in real estate. I have some coworkers that has been my inspiration because, they always ask me about questions about buying a house and all that. And for so many years, I wanted to be a real estate agent. And finally, 3 years ago, I finally got my license. Then anyways, this success stories is started from my home, which is my brother and my sister. They were very hesitant on buying their homes back then in 2005. My sister was in 2010, I think. And I push and push for them to buy. Like, every day while we're eating in the dining room, they says, "Oh my God, the real estate again." And then, finally they did. And then 2 months ago, my brother told me, "Thank you, sister, for pushing to buy real estate. Now I feel so much better about myself. My life in Canada is so stable." And then during back then, I thought you were just trying to kick us out sa bahay mo. And I was like, no, I was trying to teach. So I'm glad I did when I did. So now they are real estate investors, and they're now flipping houses too to make some money, and at the same time make the house more a healthy way of living. So next. Next, please. Okay. So for first-time home buyers, the first one is financing. It's very, very important that you connect with the right mortgage broker, and then they need to analyze if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, you have to ask how you can afford it. How can you make the planning? And how can you increase your purchasing power? And what, at the same time, if you have a partner or someone with you, you have to think your expectations for a first-time home buyers. It's very, very important that you know what your size of the house, your lifestyle, the location and all that. Those are something that your realtor will help you along the way. But first, if you're doing the mortgage steps, you have to be very realistic on your expectation on what you can afford. So normally in Canada, the 5% down payment is usual, but because of the interest rate is a little bit high now, I advise them to go up to 10% minimum, because the chances of us getting the financing is higher. And it depends on how much income that they do. So this is more something that our mortgage broker like Bernadette and Rachel can explain to you. So mas maintindihan po ninyo kasi sila po yung expert. Okay? So anyways, yung 20% down payment, less pala na down payment, there's a CMHC insurance doon na it will go include to your mortgage amount. So again, Bernadette can explain that further. I know why, but I can explain so much more on my realtor side. So step 2, next slide please, is finding the right realtor for you. A realtor good service has got the power to negotiate, to analyze where the property is, what kind of house are you looking at, what the history of the house, and the resale value you're gonna get one day. So again, the ideal first home, the moment I see it, is this something you can afford? Is this something that you can make money on in the future? Is this something comfortable for you in the next 5 or 10 years? Or if it's the next 2 or 3 years, then you have to be a little bit more realistic. Then I have to give you a plan on how to go to like a bigger property. Step by step is how I foresee my clients' future and their first time home. I have done to several Filipino people, and I'm so glad I did. I write it down in paper, and they kept that paper. OMG, those papers are still alive 5 years later. And anyways, as a buyer, you need to know that you don't pay the realtor, okay? Because I get that client a lot. The buyer do not pay us as a realtor. It's the seller who's paying us. They're so scared sometimes to contact us because they said they have no money to pay us as a buyer realtor. And it's like, no, that's not your responsibility. It's the seller. This is a different system in Canada compared to Pilipinas. Po. So, anyways, um, for to make search a lot easier for the realtor, because not all the time we don't know what you want or need. Sometimes it's better that you do help us also do the online searches, what you really want, and let the realtor know when you find a good home, because I could arrange the viewing, and then I could also research if there's already an accepted offer in it, or is the price is too high or it's too low. There must be a reason why. Okay, so next slide, please. So once we find our home, the financing is pre-approved, we have the home, then I'm going to write a contract. As your realtor, I would like to protect you because I'm going to put the conditions for the financing. And normally it involves land surveyors or appraisal, make sure that, everything is in line with the bank. And then after that, you can do the inspection. We need a contractor to do some, like in more investigation if you need something to get done, or is it really worth buying for that place. So those are some factors that's very, very important to me, because I see myself like it's my home, but it's yours, right? And then the title search, that's the condition. Make sure that it's the right owner. Make sure that there's no encumbrance that you don't really want to be there, and make sure the title duplicate is not being released to someone. And then property disclosure statement, that's a very important point again. That's a really big topic. So for now, That's just disclosure from the sellers stating that if there's any defect that you need to know, or there was a defective, or they fixed it, or there's something wrong with the pipe, or also many different sorts on the property disclosure statement. So anyways, and then you need to do the insurance, review the strata documents. This is a very, very big topic, but anyways, as a good realtor, before you even see the property, you kind of know the story than that building. Is it a really good location? Is there what kind of crime rate, or like, is that a good neighborhood, stuff like that, right? Because I get that a lot, and then I am so prepared, and it's just give me the address, and it's like, oh yeah, I know that's the name of this complex, blah blah blah, right? So I'm so fortunate that my memory is a little bit really, really good about houses. So I'm so fortunate that way, especially in Chilliwack. I know I used to live in North Van, but now my home is in Chilliwack, and I'm so proud. Chilliwack is one of the best places on earth. So, anyways, when you seal the deal, and then we got the pre-qualified mortgage, then you can, have a more advantages if you are pre-qualified. So, anyways, that's part of the financing, and then. At this market, you can lower the price when you offer, because it's a buyer's market now. Like 6 months ago, it's so hot. My listing that is like 950, it went for 1.3 million without even
Wow.
looking at the place. So those were the times when the higher market is really crazy. So right now it's a different market. So again, if you negotiate the price downwards, we can still have the chance to buy the place, because the question right now is, can you pass the financing? And then most likely my client, before we even go, we will pass the financing, because I show them what they can afford, and what like, we have to go the needs and wants, and then I want to make sure that you have to go rate all this, and then we go start from step one, step two, and then anyways, the most important sa akin right now is the price. So my clients is not gonna go scrambling under payments. So next deal, please. Next deal. Next slide,
Next
please.
deal. Yes. Let's bring in the next deal.
Yeah. So, anyways, for the hidden costs, there are the notary. When you're done with the deal with the bank and all that, so you did all your deposit, and then this paperwork goes to the notary. And then you must be aware that when you are doing buying a purchases, I know that the mortgage broker will tell you all this, but now this is like the moment of truth, and the final closing cost will be the exact amount for your property tax, the exact amount for your legal fees, a strata adjustment, neutral adjustment. And then it's just a little excerpt there that, you don't pay property transfer tax if you're a first time home buyer buying a property that is below $500,000. Okay. And also, if you're, even if you're not a first time home buyer, but you're buying a brand new place, it's below $750,000. There's no property tax on it, but you paid for the GST. Okay. So, I guess that's pretty much it. And then in a day or two, you're gonna get the keys, and then it's a party time. Eating time. Mga Pilipino, syempre, we always celebrate. Next slide, please. Okay, for in Canada, a lot of people wanted to become here, and we came here because of it's a greener pastures. I call it the new adventures, and then with these new adventures, we need to have the power of setting goals. When we grow in our lives, it's not just one area. I know Canada is a very good place to live, but then we really need also to protect ourselves for our retirement. We need some more financial independence. So anyways, as for me, I do set myself a goal every January 1st. Goal is set on my health and fitness, relationships, joy and fulfillment, and career. Like, career is the number one, because I see that number in my mirror every freaking morning I wake up, and I'm happy. I'm so happy, because it's stuck in my subconscious mind, and it just keep me going every day, no matter what had happened yesterday. So again, with all this kind of discipline that I had earned from my dad, it's I know my dad has been a very, very good inspiration from me because he started a business and started on one cow. He had allergy doing like a cement shoveling thing in Malacanang, so he went back to Ilocos Norte. And then what should I do? And then his uncle said, "You need to buy tools." Oh, I only got one cow inheritance. So he sold the cow and bought the tools. To make the story short, he made a lot of money because he was so in a hardworking mode, have integrity. His work has always been not compromised. So, anyways, I is inspired from my dad because he bought a lot of investment through real estate. So, again, this is too much for me. I'm so excited because my challenge and oh no no sorry my passion is helping people find their home. So happy home hunting for wherever you are. I mean, first time home buyers, if you really decided to buy, please give me a call. I'm always here, as long as we got pandesal and kape sa table, okay na ako. Okay, kahit na matigas na pandesal, pwede pa rin sausaw. Okay. So anyways, one more thing, because for real estate I always think this way: profits are better than wages. I know everybody go to work to make some wages, but then in real estate you go sleep to bed and it's like a passive income, and in the long run that's called profit for your retirement. Next slide please. Okay, so this is one of my example, my goal setting that I did 2017 when I only had $80,000, a single mom, and things happen. I had two jobs and went to school as a real estate agent, and I bought this home, this one here in the left, in December 2019. It was a bidding war. And then the listing agent got to know me, and then she told the story to the owner. The owner, even though my bid was lower, the owner likes my story, so I got the house for 385. Little did I know, in 2021 I sold it for 735. So that's a really good 300,000 profit right there, and I didn't even know that the market was gonna go crazy. But the point is, I really wanted to have an investment, which I'm so happy I did. And then I also sold my apartment there that is paid 134 in 2017. And also 2021, I sold it for 238. So with these two properties, next slide, please. I exchanged it with these three properties last year. So I have a house that was 720. I have a townhouse that was 560, and another brand new townhouse that is 560,000. So my goal in 2017, when I had so much, like pretty much nothing, my goal was like 4 houses in 3 years. And then little did I know, thank God for all the blessings, and in 4 years I had 7. So it wasn't so bad, and I'm so happy. I'm blessed. I'm always thankful to my clients for giving me trust and faith for what I do, because real estate has been a really much savior for me and my kids. And then I also thankful that I help a lot of Filipino people who has less education about real estate. And right now, I they're more intelligent than me now, and it's like, oh, thank God that they're imparting this education to other people, and more Filipinos like pretty much call me every day. So I'm so blessed. Thank you so much, Bernadette. I think that's it for my presentation.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. And this is the contact for Grace. And Grace, I think you specialize in which area and why? Can you tell us more?
I specialize in rental properties.
Uh-huh.
I don't specialize in commercial, not yet at this point, because with all the first-time home buyers I got, and also a lot of real estate investors, those I only welcome on residential.
Okay, perfect. And so I love your journey, what you shared, and I think you're a great inspiration, because a
Thank
lot
you.
of people, they work with realtors who are not investors, and you are one. So you went from 80,000 one no property, single mom, to 4 properties. How many years later? 4 years
No, it's
later.
7 properties 4 years later.
Seven
Oh,
properties, 4 years later, totaling how much? 2
um,
point.
2.5 million equity.
80,000, 2.5 million. Holy moly. How much ROI is that? So you're an inspiration. So anybody here who's watching, who wants to know more how she did it and who wants to become investors in an area that she loves out there. So we gave you her contact. Thank you, Grace, for your story. And if you guys have any questions, please type it in the chat box. In the meantime, we're going to welcome our next guest. Grace will bring you back later after the inspirational conversation with our next guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. Let's welcome our next guest and let's cue the introduction, please. Raquel worked as a finance officer at UBC for 13 years. As a mother of three, she enjoys reading, cooking, and listening to music. Raquel is a real estate professional focusing on first-time home buyers. She believes in using her gifts to teach and help others. She is passionate about making a real difference in the lives of those she works with. Her goal is to help Filipino immigrants find the most suitable property for their family's needs. Let's welcome Raquel Mercado Lucero.
Hello.
Hi, Raquel. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay. Are you excited?
I am excited, also nervous, but very happy to be sharing here.
Yes, you work with Carol. Do you want to say something about Raquel before she starts here?
Yes, I think Raquel, you're so gorgeous today. And I like the fact that you are now a realtor and becoming like from first time home buyer. You want to share the journey that you have. So we really value you and appreciate you with on how you want to make a difference to our kababayan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to hear from Raquel, and as you watch her presentation, her journey, if you're a first-time home buyer, she's going to share with you what she's discovered because she has a very unique experience. She learned from being a first-time home buyer to realtor. There are things that were missed during her journey, and now I think her why is, okay, this is not going to happen to others. I'm going to provide what's not there and give even way more. So let's welcome Raquel's presentation, please.
All right. So it's really exciting. I remember just about 18 months ago, I was just watching a show like this of Karista, and at the time I was just like everyone na nanonood sa atin ngayon. I was just dreaming of owning my home, but I was just like I don't know how to start. I was fearful and I just didn't know. And one thing that I really learned is that when you don't know something, just ask people, because sometimes you're just not courageous enough to take the first step. I clearly remember back then I see mortgage as utang, and that's why I don't even want to talk about it. I always say I do not want to have malaking utang, so
Yes.
I am here. But of course, at the back of my mind, I was hoping, I was dreaming to have my own house, and probably that's the reason why we've been here in Canada for 15 years, and it was only recently that we got into real estate. And thank God, it's never too late. It's never too late.
No.
So that's why I'm very thankful, and working with Karista Team here, that dream has been possible. And that's why with that journey, a new passion was given birth in me, and that's to really share my experience. And the first presenter earlier has already shown us like what we need to do as first time home buyer and all those information that is required. So now what I will be sharing with you is like we'll start with the housing market updates, because if we want as first time home buyer, we hear all this news, and sometimes nakakatakot, and if walang magga-guide sa atin, if no one will be there to help us navigate this journey, then we probably would not even start.
That's
That's what
true. And
happens.
also there's so much information and sometimes people misunderstand what the information means. So you being here today, you've curated the information and you're helping us see what it is exactly that we should be paying attention to and why.
That's right. And so that's why I will be sharing with you now This is an update from the summary of July. And so here, this is just an excerpt of all the news that probably you guys have seen this before, but I just wanted to share some of the highlights here. First thing it says, last month's sales were 35% below the 10-year July sales average. So what it means is yung sales pala natin in July was 35% lower than the usual July sales, not only from last year but for the past 10 years. So that is a good indicator there. And then second thing, there's this, buyers have seen an edging down of prices over the last 3 months. So as a realtor, I've been seeing it that prices of homes are really going down at this time. So I don't know if you guys are seeing an opportunity there, but that is what we have right now. And then just to confirm our numbers, in Metro Vancouver, there is this report that in July there was 18% home selling rate. So what it means is that for every 100 houses, or houses in general, that includes detached, townhouse, and condo, for every 100 available for sale, only 18 were sold in the month of July. So what happened to the rest? Like, there is really this big opportunity for the buyer. Unlike before, buyers are like nag-aagawan for properties, but this is changing now. And according to this report, to be exact, in July, there were 5,775 total listing and only 1,000 was sold. But mind you, the sales price, as you can see, is still 9% higher than uh, where it was last year. But then, to give you a more clear picture here, I pulled out some specific example for Burnaby, for example, and this is for detached properties. So if we are first time home buyer, of course we want to buy a property, but and sometimes we have ideals home that we want to buy, like for example, when I was dreaming of owning a home, of course we want a home that's big or with backyard or with nice kitchen, but those are dreams. But I always tell my clients and even my friends that if we are like, as a first time home buyer, we don't have to have our dream house. We can start with something small, because as you can see here, detached properties, the price range, you can see you have to start with 900 to 1499. And in July, there was only there was only 5 listings and 2 of them sold. And most of the listing are actually in the price range of 1.5 to 1.9. So this is a little bit higher for first time home buyer unless you have already prepared for this. But don't lose heart, we have other options. And that is for condo. So specific example for Burnaby North, we can have for 400 to 899, andito yung most of the listings that were available in July. So I'm trying to show you here that with all this market trend that's going on, it would be easier for first-time home buyer to really take this opportunity because mas maraming option, unlike before. Because now there is huge opportunity hiding in all these numbers. And so I would like to show you here, because like if you would notice that the prices is still high, our benchmark price, like here, this is a graph of what has happened for the past several years. And you can see that the home prices are going up. Even so, this green is actually for the detached, and the orange here is for townhouse, and the bottom is for condo. So you can see that prices is continuously going up, and even when there are times that it goes down, it still goes back up. And traditionally going up. So there really is no way that we can make mistake if we invest in real estate. um, I cannot emphasize enough the importance that we take that um, opportunity when we have the opportunity, because the property itself is appreciating, and that is what would help us to get into a bigger place if that is our dream. um, I just want to emphasize that in this presentation, there is this huge housing opportunity that is in our market, and not everyone sees it. When sales is on a downtrend, it gives rise to more inventory or options for the buyer. So kung hintayin natin na bababa yung presyo ng bahay bago tayo magde-decide to get into real estate, unfortunately, hindi po bumababa. Bumaba man siya, like what is happening now. As you can see in this graph, it's on a downward. All of this is on a downward um, direction, but it will not go down to where it started, like in this level. So it's continuously going up. Walang chance na bababa talaga siya to the point na babalik siya to 400, $500,000. So what what I would like to emphasize here is that when a listed property has been sitting in the market for, let's say, 40, 60 days, chances are that the seller will reduce the price just to attract more buyers. They are also open for negotiation. So this really is a perfect opportunity for buyers who have been on the fence as to whether to get into real estate and start that journey. If there is anything that I have learned in my experience as a first time home buyer myself, is just to be willing to take the action, and that action normally is really uncomfortable. So sabi nga nila, we can never experience progress if we will not go out of our comfort zone. So that journey, when I had that opportunity, I remember when we had our first home, I was on medical leave, and so our income was not up to the level that it used to be. And so, kung yung risk of uh, having this mortgage will be my main focus, then I would not have decided. So, once we were determined to get into the market, we we decided, okay, we will try. So we will take the opportunity, and it really is that opportunity na tinake namin that have opened my eyes. There were some mishaps that happened. That's why it's very important for first time home buyers to have a realtor or a professional who would guide them, who would really work for them, because otherwise, um, buying properties is really one of the most expensive purchases that we would do in our lifetime. So that's why we have to be very careful. And what got me interested in real estate is that when we were in this process, I got to be very curious kung ano talaga ba ang dapat ginagawa, kasi I had no idea. And because I wanted to educate myself and I wanted to know if it could be really possible for me, I realized that really real estate is the best place to start with. And that's why I have now this passion to really share, because when we were in the process of buying our home, I didn't know what to do. And you will be just relying on your realtor. And so, because there were things that got missed when we had our transaction, when we had our purchase, it got me interested into real estate. So I dig deeper. I try to learn as much as I can. Hanggang nagkaroon na ako ng interest to be a real estate, because to be an agent myself, because I know that being in this field, you will be able to help as many kababayan. It has just become very personal to me, because, as I've said, we have been here for 15 years, and I did not have the courage But if I could only be in the position to guide you or that person, now we can actually do it. We don't have to wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time will never, it may never come. It's just your perfect mindset. And whenever there is opportunity, we just have to grab it. And of course, with proper guidance of people that we can trust, like Karista Mortgage Team. And if you have a realtor that who would work for your behalf, who would negotiate the price, who would really look after you, then it is possible. So that's why I really am very passionate that, just like when you, let's say, you saw a really good movie and you're very happy with the movie, but we share like, hey, you should watch this movie, it's really good. Or if you have a recipe that you tried and it's really awesome, you always want to share. So it's the same thing that happened to me when I had this experience, realizing that, oh my goodness, I could be owning a home pala, even if I don't have the, I don't have the big down payment or whatever. There is always a way. And just this experience made me really want to be able to help our kababayans and be an instrument in making a real difference, because this is life changing. It's life changing. I cannot emphasize enough that, owning your home, no matter how small or big it is, it really makes a big difference in um, in our lives. That, yung pagpapagod natin, we can see the fruit of our labor. So basically, that's what I wanted to share, that prices are going down, but it's not gonna go lower than it where it is now, or going back to where it started. And so, mayroon akong mga tip for first-time home buyer, which I did and it worked for myself. And if you are on the fence or not sure, maybe it's not yet the time. Maybe you don't have the means to do it now, but there's nothing wrong with preparing for it. And if you could start just creating a budget or start saving for down payment, then maybe, if not this time, maybe next year. But what is important is that we take the first step. And when there is opportunity, we just grab the opportunity. And so, if I would just share with you this, the some of the tips here is that you have to just check and strengthen your credit, and then explore your mortgage option. Karista Mortgage Team is very good, and the reason why we're here today is that it is also their mission to help our kababayan. And sometimes what we don't know na makakatulong din sa atin. So we just have to explore, and that Karista Mortgage, in on that area, they are the expert. And then we have first time home buyer incentive programs. So I myself had to research about it, make sure that I get to enjoy the benefit of that. And my clients will do not have to do the research themselves, because that's part of my briefing, that's part of the benefit or the value that I try to add with them. And then of course, getting a pre-approval letter. And then very, very important is to choose a real estate agent you can trust. Um, Buying a property is not just writing a contract, it's not just, submitting an offer. It's so much more than that. So if you have a real estate agent who could really communicate to you and understand what your needs are, not only what you want but what your needs are, and that they will be willing to go the extra mile, that is the kind of real estate that you would want. Because as first time home buyer, we are not the best candidate for big deals for other realtors. Like if they have been in the business for 30 years, maybe we will just be just one number for them. But if we could have someone that would be communicating to us and will be willing to hold our hands as we navigate, then the experience will be different. So yeah, and then pick the right type of house for you and neighborhood, and then stick to your budget. And of course, when you have your experience, you share your experience, so that others could benefit too. And that's what we have been doing here. Like if your mortgage broker did an excellent job share it. If your realtor did an awesome job for you, then share it. And that way, we are spreading, we're planting good seeds that will come back to us, and we will have a better Filipino community in this place that we now call home, Canada, right? So yeah. So if you have any more questions or would like to know more about how to proceed with buying your first home, then please just reach out to us. So yeah, that's it.
Yay. There you go. Thank you, Raquel. Thank you. Thank you so much for those wonderful learnings. And I'd like to invite back the rest of the Karista team and, of course, Grace to complete the angels here. So, Grace, let's join us. There you go. Okay. Wow. Hello again. So that was powerful. A lot of information. I took notes. Just like anything else, I always find learnings from your experiences, and which I'm going to be sharing with you in a minute. But before that, sorry, back microphone. Can you hear that? Okay. So we have some questions here, and for the audience, if you have any further questions, please type it in. But I'd like Rachel and Carol to. Do you have the questions in front of you, Rachel?
Yeah.
Rachel, you want to start off for the first question?
Okay, so the first question that we have is, kung bibili po kami ng bahay, magkano po ang professional fee ng realtor and mortgage broker? So really good question. The number one is, kung bibili po kayo ng bahay, binanggit ni Ate Grace to earlier, is that you don't have a fee for your realtor. So si seller ang bahala sa pagbayad ng realtor nyo for both selling and buying, and for your mortgage broker as
Maybe they should
well.
answer that part. Ate
Okay.
Grace and Ate Raquel, what's the fee for mortgage brokers?
Itlog.
Zero.
Zero.
Uh-oh, there's feedback. Sorry.
Yeah, they don't have to pay
Are we
the.
okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's Raquel's. Raquel, can you try that again?
Yeah. So
Uh-oh, you're getting feedback.
yeah.
Don't know why. Try again, Raquel.
As I was saying. Yeah.
Is there, baka may naka-on?
Maybe your phone is on, or maybe, I don't know. Try again,
Ito.
Raquel.
How about now?
It's excellent. You have two devices that are probably, it wasn't an issue when you were presenting earlier. It's weird. Try again now. Oh, we lost her. Okay, so Ate Grace, how much do you pay? Said itlog. Why?
Because it's the seller's responsibility to pay both the realtors. It's part of the contract. Once the seller is writing a contract to sell the property, it's built in there that the seller will pay for the
Okay.
buyer's agent.
Okay. And Ate Raquel, when you took the mortgage from us, you did not pay anything to us, did you?
No. That's why hindi sila dapat matatakot kasi walang binabayaran ang buyer.
There you go. Yeah, the bank pays us, so there's none. Okay, next question, Carol.
Next question. Malalaman niyo po ba kung ang isang property ay overpriced? Ate Grace and Ate Raquel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So because when you have a realtor, meron kaming access to all the listings, even properties that got sold. And so usually what I would do, I will, like, if there is a listing and you want to know if that's the right price, what you would do is that to check similar properties within that get sold for the last, let's say, 3 months and within that area, and then you can compare, because that number would tell you. And even the current listing, it should be within the same range. So a good realtor should be able to really tell you if the home is overpriced.
Okay, and I think we have a question. Rachel, can you please read a question from JXJ Adventures?
Okay, so if you have extra funds, is it better to do a down payment for a rental property than pay off the mortgage of your principal residence? Okay.
Yes. Can I take that question, please?
Yes,
It's my
please.
favorite topic.
Yes.
Okay, that is definitely the best idea is to buy a rental property because it's one way to pay off your mortgage faster of your principal residence once you sell that rental property one day. So I always do that trick. I never pay off my principal residence if I have extra money. I put it to another rental because the tenant is paying for my mortgage anyways, and it increased at least 6% per year. So for a 1 million property, I make 60,000 every year, like passive. So the mortgage is being paid by my tenant. That down payment, that extra money that I have, is just sitting there. But really, it's making a lot of money every time I go to bed. So that's how I see it.
Wow, that's a great answer. Thank you. And then we have the next question. Carol, do you mind reading that and I'll answer that for you?
Okay. Walang fee ang mortgage broker.
So that's a very good question. Typically 95, well, maybe 97% of the time, when you get a mortgage, there's no fee. The only time that there is a fee is if you don't qualify with an A lender. So an A lender is like the big five banks, and but if it's a special case to case, it's really a rare occasion, then there may be a fee, but most of the time there isn't. So I hope that answers that question for you, Ate Norma. Okay, the next question, Rachel.
The next question is, maraming mga realtors dito sa Canada, pero ano pong mga criteria ng isang realtor ang dapat naming hanapin?
Ate Grace first.
Okay. In my opinion, you need to research the background of your realtor and how many sales have they gone through, or like uh, go read their comment from the previous clients of that realtor. And number two, make sure you can communicate with them. You give them a call, and the moment you can click, then that's probably the one, because it's very, very important for first-time home buyers that you could just tell anything that you want. You're comfortable for all your questions. With stuff like that, right? And then as for me, I am like came from a very poor family also. So I mean, my goal is for them to get rich. So their visions, I can see their visions, because I'm sure we're all from the Philippines and all that. And then I always like realtor that has been from a humble background.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's very good criteria. Ate Raquel, what about you?
Well, I can just actually add lang dun sa sinabi niya. But then, very important to me is the communication. That because as first-time buyer, we don't know what we don't know. So kung we do not have that open communication with our realtor, or hindi tayo nakakapag-communicate ng maayos, then it's not gonna be a successful deal, because there will be some areas na mamimiss. And if we don't know that, because we're not supposed to know as buyers, our realtor should be able to help us and really navigate us, not just seeing us as a number or a client na they just want to sell, or they just want to finish or close the deal for you. They should be able to go the extra mile, because it's important. Like, they will do the work that is required for you. So like negotiating, and when kasi pag tumitingin tayo ng bahay as buyers, we see features of the house. We see the house, oh, lovely kitchen, I like the backyard. But our realtor should be able to look beyond. They should be looking if there are potential on dun sa property. So I really would recommend that you get a realtor who would not only a good realtor in terms of he can sell or buy, but then someone who would be able to speak to you, to communicate to you in the language that you will understand, and would be willing to really go the extra mile just to make it happen for you.
Thanks, Raquel. Thank you for that. Carol, can you read the next question from JXJ Adventures? Thank you, JXJ.
Is it easy to get approved for a rental property than principal residence? And how much do you get approved for? Is it the same percentage of the value of the property? This is a very good questions. So dito sa Canada, walang 100% financing. So, ang may factors na tinitignan ng bangko. We call this three C's of lending. First is yung capacity to pay mo, and that is your income. The other is your credit score, and yung mga monthly obligations, your credit. The last is yung capital in your source of down payment. So that those are the factors that they're considering that we have to justify it sa kanila that we can afford this loan. So yung questions natin na if it's easy, depende. Those yung sa sinabi kong factors. And again, it's not just you who's going to invest in that property, di ba? So the lender also want to make sure that yung invest in yung rental property man yan or principal residence man yung property, they want to make sure it's a good investment na gagawin nila together with you.
Yes, so I love what Carol said. Is it easy? I think whether it's principal residence or rental property, the criteria is very similar. So it's not easier or harder. It's the same criteria that they look at, which is based on your income and debt obligation. So it's very important for us. That's why we're sharing a link here for a quick call. If you'd like, you could have a quick call with one of our mortgage strategy managers, and they can easily identify for you how much you'd qualify for. The reason why we call it a quick call is they could pretty much tell you within like 10-15 minutes how doable it is. Is it the same percentage of the value of the property? So if you're buying a principal residence and you qualify, the down payment is 5% if it's 500,000 and below. And if it's between 500 to a million, before a million, like 999, it's 5% the first 500,000 and 10% above that. So it's really not 20% down. If you are buying for a million, or if you're buying a rental property, the down payment has to be 20% because that's the law. So hopefully that information is helpful to you, and I really encourage you to book a quick call. Then we can give you more of an in-depth. We just gave you like a taste, like an appetizer, and hope that inspires you to dig deeper for the rest of the information. The next question, Rachelle, please.
All right. So, is it advisable for a first-time home buyer to get a loan for a down payment? So that's a really good question, Ate Lida. So katulad ng sinabi ni Carol kanina, there's three factors here. So yung third factor that we're looking at right now is yung capital mo. Now, if you get a loan for your down payment, it's will factor in po sa mga debt obligations nyo. So most likely it's not necessarily advisable because again, if you're paying a mortgage, you're taking on a 1,000, 2,000 na extra monthly obligation, you take out another loan, that's another loan that you're paying interest and principal on when you're taking on this new home.
Yes, so that's a very good advice from Rachel as well. And we've also have helped people to buy a property where the down payment is borrowed. So basically, if this is something that you are considering, when you book a quick call with one of the mortgage strategy managers, they're going to tell you, okay, if you come up with your own down payment, you can purchase this much. If you borrow for your down payment, your purchase price is this much. And then you can then decide. Because I think in making a decision, we need to make an informed decision. We need all the ammunition we can get, so we can go forward accordingly. So thank you. Hope that has given you clarity. Next question, please, Carol.
Next question is: do you know any realtor in Nanaimo that is investor as well? Thank you.
Rachel, you know what? You work with someone in Nanaimo, right?
Yes, so there are a couple of realtors that we know who are both investor realtors and investors themselves. So if you'd like to know more about their information, just let me know or book a quick call too so we can discuss your options before you go ahead and make your investment decisions there.
Carol, you've also worked with a realtor in Nanaimo, right?
Yep. But we have a lot of clients there in Nanaimo. Also, the working closely with our realtor that we're referring to them.
Okay, so the reason why I asked both of them is again, when you book a quick call, all of us have experience with some a great realtor there, so you will have the right connection. And most importantly, if you recall what both Raquel and Grace said, it's important to be pre-approved first or pre-qualified before you start because that's what the realtor is going to ask you. The realtors are professionals, so they want to make sure that you are prepared, that you have all your ducks in a row. Please make sure you address that first. Next question, please. Is it Rachel's turn?
Yes. Ano po ang best advice nyo para sa mga renters na nanonood?
Oh, this is good. Let's listen for the advice from our realtors first, and then let's listen to the advice from our mortgage strategy managers. Raquel, you first.
Yeah, my take that is that there, like once you have decided to, you can just compare kasi yung rental, yung rent natin, and then yung mortgage if ever. So it just really is a matter of mindset, because when you are renting, your money is just going down the drain. Yeah, meron kang shelter, meron kang bahay, pero after that, it's gone. Wherein kung you invest that by buying your own place, then yung hinuhulog mo is nagiging sayo pa rin. So it really is just a matter of mindset, and it's always better to be stretching towards buying your own house than staying on the comfort zone of just renting your place.
Basically, what I heard Raquel say, if you're renting is an expense, when you're buying is an investment. So choose your mindset, right? Grace, yeah, please.
Yeah, I always been a mentor for renters to be not comfortable being a renter
Love that.
because they get too comfortable and like sometimes they're renting way below the rental value, and it's like you better save a lot of money right now because let's say you're renting 900 but now the rental rate is 1600. You need to take that $700 to the side because I want you to buy a place. Once your landlord will sell your place, holy cow, you're gonna get surprised. The market will be different. You'll be like in denial that I should be paying less. It's like there's no such thing as less anymore because the property has been skyrocketingly high now. So I do like those renters because I always go there and then give them the plan on how to save. Once their place is sold, they have to move into a place that they can buy.
I love that tip. So basically, if you're a renter, it's very important for us to make you uncomfortable with with your rent. We need to make it hurt because you like it too much, and it's
Yep.
bad for you. It's really bad for you. Okay, Rachel.
Yung biggest advice ko talaga if you are a renter is you're at mercy of a few things here. Number one is yung landlord nyo. Kung gusto nila ibenta, then you're, forced to move out and find a new home. And Ate Grace and I had that situation before. So you have less control of that. And of course, the prices. The prices are always increasing with the rents and you have no control over that as well. So, kung bibili po kayo ng bahay, it's a different feeling when you are living there and it's your own and you have control over your finances, over, the walls that's yours. You can do all the renovations na gusto nyo. So, iba talaga yung feeling once you start that and once you become a investor, that's your in into the market.
Perfect. Carol.
That's a very good questions and answers from the beautiful ladies there. So I think it's more on analyzation. So if you're gonna analyze it, yung binabayaran nating rent is you're paying the mortgage of your landlord. And once you purchase a property, you're paying your own mortgage na. And the other thing there is hindi siya pataas. So, pababa yung nangyayari sa'yo because you're paying a principal paid out there and you're gaining a wealth there, which is yung equity mo through the principal na binabayaran mo. After a few years, you can be able to get that. And then after that, is you can also have, since there's a busy, the natural appreciation. Bibili mo man siya ng 500,000 right now, that might not be your dream house, but that first purchase that you're gonna buy will help you to achieve another wealth na makabili ka ng another property or upgrade to another property.
Yeah, and okay, well, there you go. I think they've given you a lot of wonderful advice there. And what did they say? Pick your poison. No, choose your cure. Okay, so next question, please. Whose turn is it? Carol.
I think that's the last questions that we have.
Oh, is it the last
Yeah,
question?
I don't see any new questions here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is the moment of truth. I would like to hear from our couple of our realtor guests. What's your last piece of advice or call to action, I guess, or even takeaways from today that you would like to give to our viewers? Let's start with Raquel, please.
Yeah, so I always like say lang that we can never experience progress if we will not go out of our comfort zone. And so that means yung must stretch tayo if we want to buy our house or if we really want to make that decision. It's gonna stretch us. And it's not comfortable, but that's how we would experience progress. That's how we would elevate our situation to a much, much better position.
Oh, I love the stretch thing. I remember when I first bought my home, like the cinturon, right? It's so tight. It's so tight when you first move in, but after a while, you get used to it. It gets looser. It's all good. Grace.
Okay, for me as a realtor, my goal is to hopefully a lot of Filipinos will be homeowners and eventually landlords, because this is the only way of going into financial independence when we retire. Passive income has been my favorite and been my savior all these years, because I started in 1995 in North Vancouver to buy a home there. So it's been 28 years for my life in Canada, and then it's been a really, really uh, good thing that I was aware. I mean, that some people don't know about real estate, and I educate and educate and educate them, give them goals. And for me, when they commit, I mean, they are into their goal, I'm very happy when they call me an angel. I'm not an angel, but they call me an angel. I'm so proud. I'm so happy that we're all in Canada. We are so blessed, but mingling with the right people is the number one key. Education is very, very good that we have this TV. This is, something that people can click in, and then, different views of life, different personalities, different Filipino that's in Canada is a very good inspiration for other people that just came in.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Carol.
Wow, thank you for that, Ate Grace and Ate Raquel. So, akin is my biggest takeaway from this Karista Live we have is from Ate Grace is you always ask questions, sabi niya, and then ask the expert is for recommendation and what are the next steps. Ate Raquel, the biggest one is when you don't know, you just have to do a humble confidence to ask how, diba? Paano ko ma-achieve yung goal. And the other thing is, sabi natin, it's never too late to start.
Yeah. So true. So true. Thank you, Carol. And I love what you said. Sometimes when you want to figure something out, so you may want to, instead of how is a good question, and based on what Carol said, who is an even better question, because they get to the how faster, better. So, Rachelle.
Okay, my biggest takeaway with this presentation from Ate Raquel is that it's definitely a good time to buy right now. Even though there is a dip in prices, you see the opportunity. And so that's my biggest takeaway from your presentation, Ate Raquel. And Ate Grace naman, my biggest takeaway, I have a lot. But definitely, na-inspire talaga ako sa story mo. And basically, you can make something out of nothing, even though you're in the trenches and you feel like you have no resources. What ang ginawa mo is naging resourceful po kayo and you used what you had and created a legacy para sa mga pamilya nyo. And so I hope everyone's story is everyone is able to be touched by your story so that they can continue to build their legacies as well.
Aw.
Thank you. And for me, so one of the things that I've had a lot of realtors who are guests, and one of the things that I learned from Grace is they really recommend she really recommends you to do your own online searches for what you want. I think that is helpful for your realtor and yourself instead of just relying on your realtor, and then you let the realtor find you the good home. So being encouraged that way to do your own homework, I think it's a powerful suggestion. And then I love what you said, that real estate has been your savior. Grace, you went from 80,000 single mom to 2.5 million, 7 properties. And from real estate being your savior, now you've become people's angel. That gives me goosebumps. Thank you for that. And your advice profits are way, way, way better than wages. That's for sure. And then from Raquel, from the numbers that you showed there, when you look at numbers, I think some people look at the numbers and they look for what's bad, or they look up for what's wrong, or they look for the bad news. But you reminded us that there's huge opportunity hiding in the numbers. It's for you to keep digging. And if a listing has been there for 40 to 60 days, most likely the seller it will be open to reducing the price. So it's a good idea to work with your realtor who will go the extra mile for you. And then be willing to take action even if it's uncomfortable. Because some of us, if it's uncomfortable, we avoid it. But you've encouraged our viewers to, when it's uncomfortable, that's the best time to take action. And the perfect time will never come. It's your perfect mindset that is important. So those were my key takeaways from both of you. As I said, you are my teachers. I love learning from people, and you've certainly touched my mind, touched my heart with your personal story and your dedication and your commitment to educate more and more of our viewers here when it comes to home buying. So thank you for being our guest. We are so grateful to you. And please follow us, all of you viewers, follow us on social media. We are committed to educating because, again, before the start of the show, we said we love to learn, we love to connect, we love to make a positive, lasting difference. And we totally achieve all those three things today. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.